Hello, my name is Jim. I'm making a game called Fun Man, and this is an update on the progress of my game, Fun Man. Here I am in the sandbox of the game, and you can see the sandbox looks a little bit different than it did last time. And that's for a reason, which I'll get to very, very shortly. But I guess I'll show you stuff I've done within the past 10 days. I wanted there to be billboards that could display custom messages depending on different things. Some of them are just regular billboards, and some of them will be helpful hints. But after making it, I did realize that it can be a very valuable gameplay element for the character to jump up and hide on and get a good vantage point. Okay, that's one. So I do have a dialogue system I have a trigger system for the game, and it does a lot of different things, but I needed the ability to just read a note. So I added that, and for some reason, there you go. I made a couple different ones that show up with different color schemes. See, sometimes you just need to read it, and you click it and it goes away. I also added a new state, which the animations still need a little bit of help. But you couldn't always, or you couldn't previously until now, jump and throw. Now you can. I did a little bit of work on a couple of the balls with the way that they present. That is not correct. They're not supposed to melt. I think there's an issue going on with the z-index thing here. Let's try Wipeout. Yeah, I added a couple of layers to the Wipeout ball. Make it look a little bit cooler. Pawn Man. So I gave the pawn guy a little bit more of personality, except I haven't quite matched up the
When you complete this record, you will have mastered all 4 rows.
how they blend in together.
First,
So that doesn't
turn
work.
to page 11 of your textbook.
And I also don't know why it's not triggering
Keys 1,
the menu. I fixed the gonculator beam. The way I had it before, it was just a big, huge mesh cylinder that was hanging off of Funman's arm, which really messed things up when you placed him in the scene. He took up a lot of space, but now it's just a cylinder that grows exponentially until it hits something and then it stops. I would like it to shower sparks at things. I'll figure that out. But now I'm going to show you the cool stuff. Not that I didn't think that stuff was cool, but there's more. So here we are with a bird's eye view of my sandbox, and the playfield is a square for right now, but for different levels it'll be different shapes. Something I started working on months ago was to have a 2D representation of the 3D space. Oh, which I can't show you in this mode. But now, I figured out that if I kept the area consistent, if every level was a consistent square and made inside this grid that I made, that the location of the player would always be spot on. When I had levels that were kind of funnily shaped and tried to put the boundaries around the entire thing, the math got really upset and wouldn't put the player where the player should be. So here we are in the sandbox. I'll show you telling. Here we are in telling. So this is the shape of telling, but the entire cube is the shape of the boundary, and this will stay the same for every single level from now on. And here we are, smack dab, right in the middle. And there we see our player icon. Let's go over here. There you go. I'm standing on that white line. There you go. So, after I figured out the player in this grid space, this 3D to 2D grid space, I thought, you know, it would be awfully handy if this had the same functionality as a lot of other games, where if you discovered an area, an icon would show up, so you could go there again. So I started with started making a bunch of different for each of the locations. And you don't need an icon for everything, just the significant parts. Although an idea that I thought was cool, if you see up here, that's an active quest item. This is my test quest. This is Rockhead's eye. So Rockhead asks you to bring his eye back to him. This is kind of going to be the tutorial of how that works. But once you pick up the item, you'll see that's where it is. I made it a different color. So if you were to drop it and then go elsewhere, and then you went back and said, hey, where'd I leave that thing? There you go. The next cool thing was language support. And this is best demonstrated in a shop. Here's Kaldar's shop. Let's make sure the trigger works. Okay, the trigger does work. So something that seemed like it would be smart to learn sooner than later would be how Godot's translation system works. And what it does is I think there are two different ways, but I'm doing it with a CSV file. This is what it looks like. This is for schemato stuff. And the first is a key. And instead of writing throwable in the key, in the text field, you write schemato _ throwable. And then you point the text field to the translation. And then everything, depending on what language you choose. For right now, I just have French and Spanish. But after all of the keys are created, you could just get it all translated at one time. So I put it to French. It'll translate to French. Spanish, translate to Spanish. But you have to do these translations. Well, you have to, now you do them yourself. You ask the computer to do them, but Godot will not automatically do the translations for you. And it is probably a good idea to double check things, of course, to make sure that nothing is offensive. So I am in the process of going through my items and making keys for my items. You see only a couple of them are in Spanish right now. But yeah, I've pretty much gone through everywhere and found all of the English I've had previously and switched over to this new system. Of course, not everything has to be switched over. Just stuff to make it easier for folks to play. The second to last thing is last night I really wanted to make a fountain. So I made a fountain. And here it is in the game. It's just got a couple of shaders on it. And if you jump it, Wanted to start making the place look nice, you know. I did a little bit more work on the workbench. I had the idea to make it look like something other than a workbench, and I still haven't quite gotten there yet, but I will. So yeah, that's something else. So an unexpected plus to working on the map was creating these grids. So now, when I'm making the levels again, I can make them smaller, more refined chunks inside the grid. And if I wanted to change just one thing, I could just change that one part. So that's good for the future. Blah, blah, blah. That's it for now. Thank you everyone on Kickstarter who helped get this project going. And thank you to all my Patreon patrons who helped me keep the dream alive. Here's another fountain.
Thank you.